On play action, it's Carr. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Will Parks there in coverage to knock it away. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
And this is going to be incomplete.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
And Nugent puts it through, and that will make this a 9-point lead. Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. You know, all things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side.
I would say that you've pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you actually have both sides happy with that exchange. You know, happy in quotes, of course. One team, hey, we've kept it within range. The other side saying, hey, we put points on the board and did stretch out the lead. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah, still bottom line, though. 3 points for the opening drive of the third quarter. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
On 53. Let's go, let's go.
Keenum to throw on second down. He's got it, the tight end Jeff Hireman. And he's brought down after a good gain. A very solid gain of 27.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Now he's going to let it go deep right sideline. So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect. Just his second incompletion so far. He's 8 for 10. I think he'll take 80%.
There's no doubt that he will, but if you're the defensive play caller, you better circle what you just dialed up on your play sheet and come back to it because you just caused an incompletion. You need a few more of those.
And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. The Broncos on third down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Out of the gun, Keenum. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Bruce Irvin in there to drop him for a 4-yard loss, and it'll be 4th down. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Now Keenum, got to have this one. Flush to his right. Now he's going to throw it deep to the other side of the field. This is caught inside the 15. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down.
And they pick up the first down on a 4th down play. I don't know if the defense relaxed because they thought maybe they'd stopped them on 3rd down or if they just didn't protect the sticks very well. But, boy, that's a big-time pickup right there.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Throwing now is Keenum. And it's caught. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. In for the score. And the Broncos have cut it to within a score. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Now McManus on to kick this one off. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these team special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
They start the drive with Lynch. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all three still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. Carr to throw after the play fake to Lynch. This one caught left side by Cooper. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. And that goes for a gain of 31. This is something you got to be wary of defensively. I mean, just because they're in the mode of trying to burn some clock doesn't mean they won't pass it, and they got good yardage out of that one.
Yeah, and really, when you're looking at it, now they've got a fresh set of downs. Look for second down if they want to take another shot and try and loosen things up. That'd be the time to do it.
On 1st and 10, here's Carr. And brought in by the tight end Cook. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first timeout. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. Play action. Now it's Carr. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. Off play action. Carr. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick. And a return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line. Intended that time for Cooper. A critical error there in a tight game of the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter. Turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
The drive starts with Devontae Booker, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this.
Let's go, let's go. Tight end right, tight end right.
Right back to Booker. And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory. That's what they needed. It's an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 4 suddenly doesn't look so bad. The Broncos on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 4.
53. 22. 22.
Back to throw. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
It drives some people crazy to see those short throws underneath. They've got to find a way to gash the defense downfield.
1 score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And able to find Deshaun Hamilton complete. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. Now whistles, and the Raiders are going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. They'll try and run with Booker. And he'll take this one down inside the 5 to the 3. Now the Raiders are going to use another timeout here. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. They come out here in the I. They'll look to run with Freeman. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. Well, they've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? They'll try and run. Freeman. And he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown. Royce Freeman in the final minute. And the Broncos have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. Extra point from McManus is good. And the lead is up to 5. Now McManus on to kick this one off. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Spins past it. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. They're down here in a 1-score game. But the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
They have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. He'll look to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by the free safety, Darian Stewart. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
And that one, it's going to hurt big time. You're in the 2-minute drill trying to get your guys down the field, and it's looking like they're going to come up just short, as this is definitely not his best throw, and it'll wind up being intercepted.
They'll start out on the ground with Booker, and he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college, and how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee, and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.